Gentlemen, be very, very aware of what is going on and never, never, ever fall for a pretty face and a small waist. What up, Jalen? Never fall for a pretty face and a small waist. It is going to be the end of your existence. It is going to be your demise. All last night, I'm telling you, listen, I pray, and then I get it in. I make sure I do what it is that I do. I ask God to give me what it is that I need in order to add value into people's lives. But before I do, I go and I petition God and I say, hey, what is it that you want me to do? I don't ask anybody for anything, including God. I just ask, what is it that you want me to do? Never fall for a pretty face and a small waist. And what I realized last night, even more than I anticipated, shout out to Delta Fox, I'm going to be reading those super chats shortly. What I realized is that more women, it's not the men. It's not the men. See, men are pretty transparent. When a guy is messing up, a woman instantly knows it, right? But men tend to ignore the signs. Women call it intuition. Men ignore the signs, but it's our divine insight that gives us those tingling feelings, those spidey senses that tells us something ain't right with this woman or this situation. Most of the time, you even absolve yourself from the opportunity to even get in certain situations in the first place. But it's those spidey senses that you ignore every time. Every single time that I've ever ignored my spidey senses, I've paid for it. Sometimes in blood, other times in money, sometimes in opportunity, but certainly had to pay the piper for it. And I didn't complain about it. I just took my hits, right? But what I'm finding out more often than not, when I had that show last night, y'all got to go back and check it out. I know we got a different audience over here in a lot of instances than we have over there. But when I did my live stream last night, it was very, very telling because after I started breaking down how it is that things are happening within our community and the demise of it and the reasons for it, I opened up the phone lines. And I like to open up the phone lines on a Wednesday night. And what happened was guys started calling in. And I knew something was up last night because they didn't want to be on camera. Tall tale sign. I even got to the point on my live streams where I say, listen, I expect for people not to want to be on camera. You know why? Because I know that when you're not on camera, you tend to start telling the truth. You're not up there for clout. You're not up there for visibility. You're not up there in order to try to get famous and get your name big or be clipped up or anything like that, right? Some people come on the camera and they just be telling their story and it be real. But the minute that I seen the first three guys that got on the live stream, they said, Anton, I don't want to be on camera. Me and Freezy, we looked at each other, we texted each other, and I said, what is going on, Freezy? And man after man, and man after man, and man after man. And you know what they were saying? My mama just lied to me my whole life. I'm 29 years old, and I didn't even know that my father wasn't my father. And she's still trying to live with the lie even after we did the DNA test. And then the second guy came up and he said, you know what I'm saying? My girlfriend lied to me and told me that them kids was my kids and they're not even our kids. I'm going to be reading those super chats shortly. It was crazy. Guy after guy after guy. We did a sweep yesterday. Oh, man, you know what I'm saying? I moved in with a woman. I thought that she was going to be my wife, and I paid for her to go to school, and then she wound up leaving as soon as she got her nursing degree, and she leveled up, and then she went on and did her own thing, and she moved to Houston. Kirk Franklin, we just found out about that story. Kerry Washington, just found out about that story. Sometimes women ask me the question, because I hold my guys accountable all the time, and guys tend to be the ones that get the most coaching calls, right? But sometimes women ask me, they say, why are you being hard on us, Anton? Don't you believe all women? Don't you understand what's going on in our lives? Don't you know that we've just been able to vote, but we've been able to accomplish so much within the last few years, and there's so many programs and so many incentivizations in order for us to continue to do the thing that's in our best interest, like Black Girls Code, Believe All Women, advocate for equal rights, family court updated laws, and all of this stuff. My life, my choice, body positivity, don't shame me, make sure that I can do what I want to do when I want to do it, and you can't cancel me as a result of it. I could just make an accusation and ruin your life, and then when you find out 20 years from now after you started doing your sentence that it wasn't actually you that did anything, it's nothing that I can do about it, so I'm just going to keep on going about my way. I'm going to be Carly Russell, can't really get any accountability held for me except for public shaming. Don't y'all understand that, for example, and I explained this last night, but I'm definitely going to have this conversation with y'all today. Don't you understand, for example, men can't lie about you being the mother of their children. It can't. The fetus comes out of your body, and so it's your child. We can't finesse you. It's impossible. It's the reason why God made us men, because we are naturally held accountable just for the sake of being a man, just by being born in society. We have no excuses. But then women are the detriment to the community. And when I had the conversation years ago and I said, hey, man, a lot of these instances, black women are starting to become the biggest nuisance and enemy to black men, way more than any time in history from white men, because we love you. We love you. We want the best for you. That's the reason why we connected with you in the first place. And so conversely, because a man can't lie and say, no, that's not your kid, or that's your kid and it not really being your kid. When a woman comes through and she dies with a lie, and just imagine it like this, right? She dies with a lie, meaning that she told you that that was your father and it wasn't really your father. She told you that that was your kid and it wasn't really your kid. Now, she knew what she was doing. She knew that she was having sex with more than one man at the same time, and she decided to die with the lie. How many of your grandmothers and great-grandmothers and great-great-great-great-great-grandmothers that you think is a part of your lineage, but that's not even your real father? Think about that for a minute. How many dudes are getting set up every day? How many dudes are sleeping with the enemy? The person that you lay next to is the most important decision that you ever gonna make in your entire life. How many men are suffering at the hands of the person that they lay next to every day? I'll give you an example.
The U.S. Marshals have a new addition to their 15 most wanted fugitives list, and she's from right here in Metro Detroit.
Yeah, 44-year-old Tamara Williams is wanted for the murder of her boyfriend back in 2018. She's accused of killing him and then scattering his body parts along I-75 in Ohio. We bring in Sean Lay. Sean, 2018, so she's been on the run for years now.
4 years and now making this list. U.S. Marshals Service 15 most wanted fugitives anywhere. We're talking about escaped prisoners, child killers, child pornography, multiple killers. And today, at the very end, here, a new addition, Tamara Williams from Detroit, accused in that horrible dismemberment, murder of her boyfriend. And Tamara's mom, very well known in these parts, may be the key to finding her.
She's evil. And we're throwing every bit of resources that we have to find her.
And today, added to the top 15 most wanted fugitives in the nation by the U.S. Marshals, 44-year-old Tamara Williams of Detroit. Williams is wanted for the 2018 murder and dismemberment of her boyfriend, David Carter. But where is Williams?
She not only set him up, she not only killed him, allegedly, but she also dismembered his body. You know how satanic you got to be to actually dismember somebody? It's bad enough that you took a life and somebody not breathing no more. You know how demonic and satanic that you have to be, filled with evil that you have to be driving down the street in Ohio and throwing body parts out the window. This man, Michigan fan, probably a Michigan alumni, good man, was taking her to basketball games, loving on her, having her best interests at heart. And she literally, allegedly, is being accused of killing him, dismembering his body, and throwing it out the window on the freeway.
David Carter. But where is Williams? Street by street, block by block.
And look at the chameleon. How many times have you seen this on Facebook and Instagram? How many times have you seen the smile on Facebook and Instagram? How many people do you walk by every single day and they're actually demons, but you can't see them because you don't have a spiritual connection to actually be able to see through that third eye? And it get worse. Let me show you how bad it gets.
State by state, Williams has vanished. U.S. Marshal Robert Watson describing Williams to me on the phone.
She is a monster, and she is one of those people that she's a danger to the community every minute that she is out there.
And the marshals believe Williams' mother, Verdine Day, has a hand in helping her. Day, once named the Detroit Firefighter of the Year, was busted for stealing tens of thousands of dollars. In
her mother is suspected to be aiding her fugitive daughter, was once named Firefighter of the Year in Detroit, but her mother herself was busted stealing money from the city and the firefighters fund. You cannot make this up. You can't make this up. I bet you she accepted that award so happily. I bet you she accepted her award so gleefully. And you know the thing about women is that once they lie and they tell themselves a lie for long enough, they actually start believing that they're doing good. That is nothing wrong with whatever it is that they're doing. Listen, the mama is finessing the city, got Firefighter of the Year, falsely was stealing money, tens of thousands of dollars from the firefighters, and is aiding and abetting in the fugitive that her daughter is, and her daughter actually killed her boyfriend and dismembered his body and then threw all of his remains over the freeway. Good God almighty, what in the hell are y'all talking about out here in these streets? Let me rewind it so you can really catch the wave.
Once named the Detroit Firefighter of the Year, was busted for stealing tens of thousands of dollars in her role as treasurer of the Detroit Firefighters Association.
And we believe wholeheartedly that she has provided her money, she has provided her resources, and may have even gone as far as financed her way to continue her life as a fugitive.
Detroit Firefighter of the Year. She was honored with that one time.
She manipulated them, into honoring her with this, with this great accolade. And lo and behold, she's stealing from them. We will go anywhere, basically, in the world that we have an extradition agreement with.
They will go anywhere to find Williams. Here's the deal. U.S. Marshals 24-hour tip line, 1-877-WANTED-2. 1-877-WANTED-2. We'll put that number and a lot of new pictures the Marshals put out today of Williams on our website. Click on Detroit.com. $25,000 reward. That is up $25,000, and Marshals are confident they will catch up with her at some point. Back to you.
I'm not confident that the Marshals is going to catch up to her or her mama. I'm not confident that the mama or her is ever going to get caught.
She's a danger to the community.
Ever. Look at her. If anybody see this woman, $25,000 that leads to the arrest of this woman that dismembered her boyfriend and then spread his remains all across 75 freeway in Ohio. I heard she got a BBL and she had got her waist sucked out too. That's the word on the street. I don't know. I can't tell. But my point is this. I no longer believe all women. I no longer subject myself to the idea that women were even a blessing for men at all. It's hard. You're going to have to sell me on it. You're going to have to sell me on the idea that women were supposed to be a blessing to men. After the show yesterday, and I prayed this morning, I asked God, because I made a declaration to my fellas that I was going to repair you guys. I'm going to be a lightning rod in the community in order to make sure that I use my voice, my platform, and everything that I have in order to continue to build you back up, because it is my responsibility. And I declare today that I am going to fix you one man at a time. But in order for me to start to do that, I got to understand the enemy. And I had to ask God this morning. I said, are they the enemy? No, they can't be. They can't be. And I'm not talking about the women that's in the bag chasers. I'm not talking about the chick that I'm married to. I'm not talking about my daughter. There's always going to be an exception to the rule. You guys that are watching this right now, most of you guys are here because you actually want to do something good. You want to learn. You want to grow. You want to continue to hold yourself accountable. You find this entertaining, but you're looking for the meat and you spitting out the bones. You may disagree with me, but also you're looking for the insight that'll allow for you to continue to level up and become the best version of yourself. I'm not talking about you guys. We are but a very, very small, as large as the platform has grown to be, as many people that are tuned in on a regular basis to this live stream. We are but a small piece of the puzzle for what it is that is great about this country and is great in general. I'm not talking about the women in here. I'm talking about the majority, not the minority. Don't try to leverage who it is that I'm laying next to every night against my argument. We're not talking about what the minority is doing. We're talking about the majority. I have to ask myself, because for every one of me, it's 100 more of you that's out there suffering as a result of the things that you got to subject yourself to every single day. What do you expect for people to do? I asked God, I said, who's the enemy? Who are we battling against? Is it principalities? Is it spirituality? Is it a mindset? Is it ourselves? Were these women that were placed on this earth supposed to be a blessing? Or were they supposed to take us through the ringer and test us? It's absolutely about a man or a woman. It's not just about the intentions. Absolutely not. I'll give you this. I'll say this to you, C. Vasilian. I'll say this to you, C. Vasilian. Did you know that most people that do wrong actually don't believe that they're doing wrong? They think that they're doing right. You think that the people that are against you, that are on that battlefield, that are going against U.S. soldiers, you think that they believe that they're wrong, or you don't think that they think that you're wrong and that they fighting what's in the best interest of their own country and their own people? You don't think that this war has now been mobilized against men in a general sense in order to improve their own circumstance? You think that people just come out and say, you know what, I'm going to do some wrong today. No, they've convinced themselves that you are the enemy and you wrong because you trying to do something that's different for what it is that they think the direction of their life is supposed to be going into. They going to leverage what you have. Listen, the same way that y'all sit here and y'all make white people the enemy, because there's people every single day that has never, ever seen any slavery whatsoever. There's people every single day that don't know nothing about what it is that their ancestors. White people they got fathers that ain't even a father also, right? There's people every single day on all ends of the aisle that think that they're on the right side of the decisions that they make it every single day. You think when people came over here and they colonized this place, that they took over America, that they thought that they was doing something wrong? No, they thought that they was doing something right and that they were honoring the place that they came from because that was just normal. You think that the Indians thought that they was wrong to defend themselves and take care of business when it came to the people that was coming over here to colonize their land? Absolutely not. Most of the time when people do something wrong, they think they're doing it right. It ain't about your intentions. It's about your core. It's your core. That's why they say that most people that find themselves in a certain situation, they're rotten to their core. Even to the point to where they've become delusional enough to believe that you're wrong for even defending yourself against me because I'm me and I've come from a place that then require me to do the same thing against you that you haven't even perpetuated against me, but based off of how I program myself historically of what it is that I think is right and wrong. You think that a gang member don't think that the gang that he's in is his family and he will defend them as though they're there for him? While we on the outside looking in, knowing that they a piece of S, trying not to cuss, they think that they have to defend their territory because somebody put something in them to tell them that, hey, you need to stand up for your brother and don't snitch and do this and poison your community. At least you giving out turkeys on Turkey Day. A lot of people that are doing dirty and doing wrong think that they doing right. They think that it makes sense. We've become so reprogrammed to think right is wrong and wrong is right that we don't even know the difference anymore. We don't even know the difference anymore. It's time for a reset. Time for a reset.